This is Alicia from the Rose Composite. It is Christmas Eve, and I have to admit, I had no plans to do this episode, so I'm really excited that it came through, and I just felt absolutely called to do this and to post it, and I hope you enjoy it. Today, and they're already telling me we've got to do a number. We've got to do a number to get us started. And our number's 473. And the message, you and your loved ones are held in the hands of loving angels and ascended masters who are completely supporting you in all ways. Give them any worries or cares. From Mysterine Virtues, Angel Numbers 101 book. And what a message. It really has to do with what we choose. What do we choose in this life? What do we choose for this Christmas? What do we choose in any possible way? And it's so beautiful because I'm really talking more broadly about Christmas and really the essence of Christ. That is what Christmas potentially represents. It also can represent the harvest season and the darkest of days and the calmness and the quiet of the night and the blessings that come in the silence. And that's what I'd like to impart with you is the kindness of grace, the kindness of quiet. And quiet, only the strongest exist, the strongest messages, the strongest lights. And it's so lovely for us to have a beautiful season with all the blessings that come this time of year. But what is most blessed is our families, is our time together, is our time in quiet. And I think so often that is lost in this season because that's really, this internal love. That's in my mind what Christ really stood for was the eternal love. And it's not just love in this season or this lifetime, but it's love in all of your lifetimes. It's love in all of your seasons, regardless of if things are going well or could do better. It is about calming our worries and knowing in our faith that there is another season coming to us, whether we are at our highest or lowest. If we are at our lowest, I just pray for you and wish you a blessed change. If you're at our highest, I wish you for a blessed change as well. Because what our whole lives are about are in living out these experiences, in expanding, in developing and expanding our abilities and our ways and our trust. And I'm reminded of both Marys, really, both Mary of Nazareth and also Mary Magdalene, but truly Kuan Yin as well. It's this eternal feminine energy that is compassion and trust and strength and the ability to move forward regardless what is occurring. And that's what I hope to leave you with, is a sense of strength to make it through the darkest of nights. As a whole, that's really to a degree where we are at right now. We are in a space that requests our devotion, it requests our mercy, requests our ability to persevere, not only in the winter season, but also on the more global cosmic season. There is, if you read some of the, starseed, I'll call it stories because scientists will disagree. And I will say that, we have measurable solar flares, we have measurable changes in electromagnetic energy, we have measurable changes. But if you only look at the short term, you will not have the grace to see the significance of the global expansion, the cosmic expansion that is occurring now. And for those of you who are sensitive, you will have felt it. And everyone feels things differently, so don't pat yourself on the back regardless. But I do wish that you start to expand your awareness to see the greater picture of what is happening, but also the smaller picture that is happening, because it is one thing to have this awareness of the greater impacts that are occurring, and it is another thing to simply have the awareness of the things that are happening to you close at home. We are seeing changes in family, changes in occupation, changes in employment, changes in our means and in our it's beyond the economics. It's changes in the way we choose to experience our lives and what we prioritize. And I think that's what's most important this time of year, is to ask yourself, what have you been prioritizing, and whether you want to continue in that way. And I encourage you to prioritize that eternal love that we talked about, that love that goes beyond romance. It's the love for your family, your friends, my little cat. I don't know if you can hear him in the background. And I love him so much. And it's really about loving yourself the most that you can, to honor yourself in that way, to love yourself so much that you will choose to hold strong boundaries, to follow your path, to follow what you know so wholeheartedly is right, regardless of what others say, regardless of the shoulds and coulds and society expectations. You are not here to live the same path as anyone else. You have been given this gift of uniqueness within the equanimity. I think that's what's so beautiful that people forget. We equally all have the same capabilities and rights, and sure, maybe you have to move somewhere else. Maybe you have to believe differently in yourself. Maybe you have to adjust your situation to have that occur. But you are certainly capable of whatever your deepest dreams are. And I would love to live in a world where we are encouraged not to be anything other than our wildest dreams. I think I don't know if most of you know, but I was very good at school. I went into engineering and I had a math degree and all of the things. And it hurts my voice even just to talk about this, because I was good at it. I continued to do it because I was good at it, and I thought that's what I was supposed to do. But my passion only came from my heart. Other people cannot see your heart the way that you can feel your own heart. And if you're having these desires and these dreams and these wants, they come from the most divine place. They come from an eternal love. And I just pray that you are able to have the strength and the boundaries to follow that eternal love in that way, and know that it is not always easy. It is in fact very terrifying. It is in fact very scary, especially in the beginning. And I think that's what Mary of Nazareth reminds us. She was, so the story goes, graced with this blessing from Gabriel that she would give birth to God. And, she had this choice. She had a choice to decline. And just as we all have choices to decline, it is the greatest heartbreak to turn your back on yourself. It is the greatest loss in trust, and it is the greatest loss of that eternal love to go with the greater rather than with the one that matters most. And I hope that you're able to feel a sense of sacred safety and security when you follow that bliss, because we all have these divine abilities. We have these divine gifts that come far beyond our physical lives, these single lives. We have these abilities that have been developed through a million other experiences, a million other lifetimes, if not a trillion or more, right? We can never even count. The reality is that we can't count our blessings because there are far too many. And sometimes we get so caught up in the worries and hurries and the dance of doubt, and we get lost. We get lost ourselves. And now more than ever is the call to bring yourself back to your wholeness, to bring yourself back to your grace and your love, and the love that exists only in your heart. Because, you know, love is too great for any one of us. Love, it exists in us all. Love is beyond any one person. It is what unites us. It is what frees us. It is what liberates us from ourselves. And I want to tell you too, I've been so honored to have some of the most beautiful clients this year. And if you're listening to this, I'm eternally grateful for you as well. Some of the themes that have been coming through are really about this in themselves, and honoring your purpose and honoring that which brings you joy. Because people forget so often that your greatest joy and your greatest passion is aligned with your purpose. Your purpose is meant to be enjoyed. Your purpose is meant to be loved. And we have this honorable faith to ourselves to accomplish it. And I want us all just to remember the goodness, right? The goodness of that divine love. And these, we've heard it in so many prophecies. Prophecies or premonitions, whatever word you align with, it matters not. What is truly important is that you heed the warnings, that you hear them. So often we have these worries, and the worries are real, but they are intended to divert us onto a better path. Our challenges, our pains, our deepest griefs are intended to realign us with a higher path that can only occur by severing ourselves from our past. I think we forget that so often, is that our past is in the past, and many of us continue to relive again and again and again the same outcome, the same reality. And we know wholeheartedly that that reality is not in our highest good. We know how those same choices landed us last time, and yet we refuse to stand up to our own selves and to change. And change is change, right? It requires you to have faith in an uncertain future. And that is the beauty in it. The beauty is that you know that the certain choice, that the certain path that you had taken before landed you here. And now you are confronted with the same fork in the road, and so many of us will choose to honor our past behaviors and to continue those patterns and those past habits. But if you are willing to expand, if you are willing to grow, if you are willing to change, I empower you, to encourage you to choose a different path, to choose a different future. We are hindered so often by ourselves, by our past, by clinging to them so strongly rather than choosing to alter, to stand out on a limb and say that I will honor my own intuition, my soul's guidance. I will honor what I am divinely knowing internally, regardless of what any others say around me, regardless of societal norms, regardless of what my family wants, regardless of all of those things. And, especially if you are someone who is called to be the outlier, I imagine the family of Christ in that day. Not only are they like riding through on donkeys and sleeping in mangers, like what the fuck there, but to imagine that you are tasked with having God's child. And we are we are so lucky. We are so lucky. Most of us do not have that high of a calling. And I joke, I do. Um, in all seriousness, though, we are made to fulfill the shoes that have been laid in front of us. We are made to break through this glass ceiling. We are made to follow the path that challenges us to expand, that asks us to be our greatest selves. We are capable. We are wholly, wholly, wholly capable of being our greatest selves if we so choose to do that. And I hope to embody that for myself, and I also hope to encourage you to embody that for yourself as well. You know, life is not always, um, life really calls us to change, to expand. And I'm reminded of my little cat, and, you know, I had no intentions of getting a cat, and he has become one of the strongest, most loving creatures in my life. He is my companion, to say the least. And he is much more a confidant and an eternal love. And I'm just so wonderfully grateful for him. And please don't stand up, though. And if I had, you know, chosen to honor what my little ego self, my human self, my tiny little body brain wanted to do, I would have just left him outside, and it didn't. It brought him home. And I said, "You can follow me home." I said, "You can follow me home. I love you so much. I love you so much. You're such a good kitty. I am not going to play with you right now, though. I know it's Christmas. We'll play. We will play, just not right now, okay? What else? We're talking about Christmas things, baby." So he's just reminding me too that you know, as much as it required a lot of me to, you know, adopt him and bring him into my household, my family, which at the time was me and a hodgepodge group of neighbors living in a renovated hotel. Uh, he says that it was in, you know, it required a lot of him as well, right? He had to embody this power and trust and faith to not only follow me home, but you know, he came back again and again and again. I gave him the opportunities to leave me. And you know, that is the ultimate trust. That is the ultimate love. That is the faith that is required of us to live in sovereignty of everyone's sovereignty. And that ultimate love is to know that I would love him even if he left me. I would know that he is doing what is right for him. I would know that he is acting in his highest good and his highest abilities. And I know we're talking about my cat right now, but this is true for all of us. You know, love liberates. Love sets us free. Love says, I am going to love you no matter what your good is, whatever you feel is right. Even if you are making the biggest mistakes in your life, I will still love you, and I will trust that you are honoring the highest version of yourself, and I will trust that our time is temporary. And it's with love, it's with so much love that we know our time is temporary, whether it lasts for 50 years or 5 days or even 5 seconds. This eternal love knows that we are, in our abilities to follow the greatest good that could be ours. And I'm looking around at my cards. So many right now have cats in them, but also so many are various reincarnations of Kuan Yin. And, you know, excuse my pronunciation, Zhu Zhaojing, Amaterasu, Mao Chan. And these are just the ones in front of me. There are so many musings out there that say Mary Magdalene is another incarnation of Kuan Yin. There's so many available to us, and I want you to understand that these energies are at that soul level, right? The same way that we believe in reincarnation, there is we have to believe that for others. We have to believe that for other souls as well. We have to believe that other entities, other spirits, other souls are capable of this reincarnation, and that there is this greater expanse to what occurs. And I'm reminded of some of my past lives, and I'm reminded of the things that I've carried forward. I absolutely in love with the water, and I used to live on these water-based planets, and theoretically we live on a water-based planet. It's 70% water or something like that. We really have greater grace and opportunity and love in front of us if only we could turn our sights to it, only we could attune our awareness to this greatest good. So often, especially in my culture, we find something to be hateful for. We find the darkest of everything that is. We look for the bad rather than seeking out to understand what good does this bring. And certainly there are things that are that appear to be negative. There are challenges that appear to be negative and simply simulate growth. I think that growth is what is imperative to us. And I just love the winter. I love when it's quiet. I love when it's dark. I'm so honored to be part of the new moon tonight as well, because we are in a time where we have more awareness available to us, more energetic knowledge open to us. There is so much choice. We have so much choice right now, and so often we choose to decline the opportunity. And I just love to encourage you to take what opportunity is in front of you, to choose to embody that eternal flame that is all that exists, that is the spark in your heart, the divine love, the ever burning, ever knowing aliveness that is within each and every one of us. Because so often, and it's a type of addiction to decline your authority and to believe that you are limited to this earthly self. And sure, you have a body, but darling, you are so much greater than that. You are so much more than that. There is so much beyond your physical self, and it is those who do not desire to embody your greatest self that I feel most bad for. We hear all these stories, and I personally believe there are many depictions of different realities, and that we are simply trying to explain something we do not understand. And I think this is the honor of enlightened action, the honor of following your path and taking those steps, even when you do not know where they will lead you, but you have this heart um, in your path that says that you must follow me, and if you are to decline that, then that is your choice. But if you are to follow it forward, it will bring so many blessings. And and there's a greatness in this. There's a greatness in our pain, because it teaches us that this pain, this suffering, does not need to occur anymore. We learn in accepting our pain and our hurts that we have more available to us if only we will receive it, if only we will accept the tasks laid in front of us, if only we will follow our intuition to behave differently than we have in the past. Whew. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. I'm really reminded in that quietness we are open to our greatest capacity. We are available to our greatest light. It is the darkest days that the stars shine the brightest. And you are all something like a star with this flame in your heart, this light that is shining within you. If only you are able to see yourself as that, you are able to expand it with the grace of God and to become something wiser and larger and far beyond what you're capable of. I'm reminded, I watched today, there's a Gene Dixon recording out there, and it just hit me on so many different levels. And she's talking about our purpose, and she's talking about the gifts that we are given, and that, you know, we are required to, basically that, you know, all the gifts are sprinkled among us all, right? And everybody doesn't have all the gifts. You have very unique gifts to you, and that your purpose and your role is to use your gift to its highest good. And gosh, is that my goal for 2023? Is to use my gift to its highest good, and to be a conduit for God. And I'm sure someone's going to talk about how I'm not the greatest Christian. And I just want to remind you all that it's not about identifying as a Christian. It's not about identifying with any religion. It's about identifying with, you could say your own personal religion, but it's really about identifying with your own. And you can use whatever terms you want. You don't need to use these terms. These are just terms that are common in my culture. You can use terms like higher self or the universe or your highest divinity, you know, that which is divine, that which has no name, that eternal fire that cannot be named. I think that's some kind of yogi or Buddhist saying, but it truly is unidentifiable because it is so expansive. It is all being in all ways possible, and there is no lack. There is no inability for it to be there. It is absolutely infinite in all ways. And we are really asked to embody our own infiniteness um, this time of year. You know, we're asked to be our most authentic selves in the darkness of winter. It's about stripping away all that no longer matters. It's about releasing that which is in the past, that which generally no longer matters. And you know, you could look around and say, well, that's most things, and it is. But the reality is that a lot of these things surrounding you are allowing you to embody your greatest self, to allowing you to embody the greatest version of you. And I'm thinking something like, you know, the president could look around, or like a high, you know, business person, or, you know, and I'm not saying that everyone needs to wear suits, but, you know, just humor me for the point of the metaphor. You know, he could look, or she, or anyone could look at all these suits in their closet and say, you know, I don't need these. These hold no value. The reality is that, you know, that's what other people hold in value. They hold your appearance. They hold who they expect you to be. And there's a degree of being your own unique self and being whoever you desire to be. And along the way, you have to work within the limitations of what others think you could be. And it certainly depends. We're reaching a point in time where we really don't require much. We don't require others to be a certain way. We require them to honor who they say they are, to honor their purpose, to honor their belief in their own faith, right? We have, and especially when you think about the internet, if you found this video, if you aligned to this in some way, you have some value here. And know that there are effectively limitless things on the internet out there. And if you are able to find it, it is meant for you. And that's what's so beautiful about this day and age that we live in now, because there are so many opportunities, and there are even more opportunities to make your own, to be your own most unique creator of what you desire, to shine your light in whatever way is most visible to you. But the idea that I'm trying to get across is effectively mirroring, right? It's this idea that that so often we are mirrors of each other, we're mirrors to ourselves, and whatever you're seeing, if it is comforting or if it is triggering, it is telling you something about yourself. And I would say, more often the triggering things are what we fixate on. We don't always think about the comforts, and I think that's almost more important, is to think about what you are comfortable with. And I reflect on my society and my culture, and we have so much abuse and violence so rampant everywhere that I look. It's become normalized. I got a thing from the city I live in, the suburb I live in, and it was saying not to leave presents in your car because they could be stolen. And that's the community I live in, is saying that you should be fearful of thieves. And it's so common. It's thought of as like a PSA, a public service announcement, to tell my neighbors and me that they should be cautious of being thieved from. We don't think that it's more worthwhile to develop a community where everyone is so wealthy that thieves need not exist. And perhaps I'm too idealistic and utopian in my thoughts, but I truly believe that there is a potential out there where we can live in peace. And I saw it. I saw it in another life. I know that it exists. I know that it is potential to be there. And I know that it requires so much of us to develop that. And it's not anything that one person can do. It's something that we need to decide on as a whole community and grow into over time. And perhaps that's our greatest blessing in this life, is that we have time. We have this capability to change. We have this capability to grow and expand and become a new version of ourselves. So, and I think I spoke to this. If not, I'll say it again. This time of year is really about just linking in with the quietness of your own self, the quietness of your own soul. It's not, as much as we have all these parties and things, It's much more important for you to ask yourself about what is within. What do you decide to embody in your own thoughts and emotions and behaviors? What do you choose to prioritize? And I keep using that word choose. We are so incredibly powerful. It truly is a choice. If you are willing to empower yourself, and even if you're not, be willing to see that you are choosing to abide by someone else's decision. And if you are doing that, and if it's working for you, if you agree with that, wonderful. But if you don't, choose to change. Choose to change again and again and again. And that's what the blessing of this time of year is. You can set things down so much easier. I don't just mean things, I mean past behaviors, beliefs, identities. Let them go, let them change. Release who you used to be so that you can fully embody a newer version of yourself. And that song comes to mind, the eye of the tiger, da da da, da 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 da. You're gonna hear me roar. And you really have more now than ever, more than yesterday, more than tomorrow. Now the time is so ripe to be the best version of yourself and to be whoever it is that you choose to be, whoever you decide to be, and have faith in that person. Have faith that you are worth loving this life. Have faith that you are enough just as you are, and whatever desires you have are divine, and allow yourself to dedicate that devotion to yourself. I think that's so important, to be devoted to yourself for your highest good. Choose to align with your highest good time and time again. Okay, what else do we have here? Yeah, we often seem to prioritize giving in this season, but I'd also encourage you to prioritize receiving, to prioritize the sacredness of exchange, right? We are only able to give as much as we are able to receive, and I highly encourage you to be a better receiver in a lot of ways, especially women. Women are the most sacred receivers, and I want you to know that all of this is in the spirit of freedom. It's all in the spirit of liberation. The more that you are liberated from whatever binds you, you have this ability to live out your divinity in its greatest way possible. And that is my hope for us all, is to be liberated and to be free, free to love, free to love not only other people, but our passion, free to love our own faith, free to love whatever it is or whoever it is or however we choose to love. And I mean that most pure love, that most devotional love, that is heartfelt on that soul level. I just want you to be strong as diamonds, and and I and it is in the darkness that we face our beliefs. In the darkness, when nothing else can exist, there is only us. In that quietness, in that hermitage, that's where you find your own freedom, because no one else can impact you the way that you're able to. And this really only exists for you. It's only possible for you. All that is your own faith, your own conviction, your own courage. And that's what's so important about courage, right? It's like learning to walk or to run. You have to have the courage to stand and to fall and to fall and to fall again, only to keep that courage up, to have that devotional courage and that dedication and that perseverance to stand up again and again and again. And whatever your goal is, whatever your divine passion and purpose are, whatever that gift is, it needs to be cultivated. And it deserves to. It deserves to have your attention. This is what you are made for. This is what you are meant to be. Allow yourself to be devoted to your own highest good, to your own self, to your own joy and your own affinity. Allow yourself to dedicate your life to you. And we forget so often, we get so caught up in doing things for others. We forget that there truly is no one else. There is only you. As much as you can have relationships and conflicts and all of the things with others, at the end of the day, there is only you that exists in your own reality. And if you are doing things for other people that make you feel sad or negative or angry in any way, this grief and injustice that exists is only yours to transform. And it's not that you can go back and change something that occurred in the past, it's that you choose actively to choose a different future, to choose a different path moving forward, to choose different people to surround yourself with, to choose different activities, to choose a higher alignment for your highest good. And across the board, we are being asked to advance. We're being asked to up level. We're being asked to reincarnate again and again in higher ways, in better ways. And there is so much transition and so much shift this year. And I want to leave you with this ability to know that, like, you are in the driver's seat of your own life. As much as I or others can give you tips to navigate or how to be your best self, at the end of the day, we are all mirrors for each other, and you are the only one in your heart and your knowing and your deepest desires. You're the only one that is capable of living your best life. You are the only one who can drive the boat, drive the car, whatever kind of metaphor that you like. You are it. And if you don't, there are no repercussions. The repercussion is that you live with that continuing grief and injustice in your heart until you come back here and you're given another opportunity to do it again. Because each and every day is a choice. Every time you wake up, you have a choice of how you choose to spend this day and how you decide to embody your best self and what it is that you desire. And you can sit around and watch TV all day. You can do absolutely fucking nothing if you want to. And, sure, you might do that for a day or two, but if you do it for 30 years, you're going to turn around and be so just in such despair. You've been watching, and even if you're not watching TV, you are watching other people around you grow and expand and exchange into higher versions of themselves, and you are sitting with your hands under your lap doing absolutely nothing. And I think that is the greatest sadness is that we have so much power, we have so many abilities, we have so much free will and so many choices, especially here in the United States. We have so many freedoms. And sure, there are a lot of nuances to that. But if you look at the big picture, we have a lot of freedom and we are capable of a whole lot more than we are embodying. And if you are looking for a New Year's resolution, I invite you to commit to your dreams, the dreams that are inside you, the desires that you have, the wants that are in your heart, because you are the only one who is capable of accomplishing that. And you're also the only one who is capable of embodying that greatest love of yourself, for fulfilling your desires, for fulfilling your joys, for fulfilling the wants that you are embodying, right? You can watch other people be their best selves, but it is so different when you watch yourself be your best self. And I want you all to know that you are capable of that. You are capable of accepting the challenge that is in front of you, and capable of fulfilling it, right? And that's what's so incredible about this life and about this God, is that all the things that we encounter, all of the challenges that exist are made for us. They're made to help us grow and to help us learn, and they're made with the ability for us to overcome them. They're made with this ability for us um, to accomplish them. Okay, don't. And my cat Monkey's greatest goal is to sit on my nice warm laptop. And my greatest goal is for us to work together to make this beautiful video for all of the people who watch it. So with that, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, in the spirit of the holiday season, a happy winter solstice, a happy quiet time of year, a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever you celebrate, a happy season. If you are in the Southern Hemisphere, I wish you a very happy summer solstice. And, take the message and flip it around. It's your time to expand. It's your time to be at your highest light. And us up here north, it's time to be in our darkest of days. And it is just the greatest blessing. And, I feel like that's the message coming through, is about the polarity, and to know that we go through these seasons, and to know that it's a blessing to have these shifts, because we are able to see both sides of it. We're able to see ourselves at our greatest only by knowing ourselves at our lowest. And there is always greater places to expand to. There's nothing but goodness here. It's a bit of a maze as we go through our lives. But every single challenge is really to help us at the end of the day. And this is that eternal love that I do speak of. And I just want to remind you that your soul knows the way, and you can follow yourself. You can trust yourself. You can have faith in yourself, you and yourself, and whatever God or highest being or divinity, whatever terms you like to use. I want you to know that you're on the same side, and that is simply the side that is here to be. You don't have to go fucking do anything. You just have to wake up each day and breathe and be, and part of that is loving. If you are not loving being alive, you are going to die so quick, and it's not even on purpose. It just happens. So if you are here, you are here to love. If you are here to love, then love yourself the best way you can, by honoring your greatest love. And be courageous and be blessed. And yes, 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 be blessed. We talked about devotion, we talked about knowing the way, we talked about the trust in the darkest period of life, and now I just invite you to participate in this blessing I will lead us in, for our highest good and greatest love. I invite all of you now to um, hold hands with me, and to hold hands with your higher selves and God, and to be your best version of yourself in the coming time, in the coming years, and to love others as best as you can. Be with them when you are able. Walk away as you need to be your better self, to have courageous, to follow your best blessings, and to commit to your own soul evolution, to commit to your love and devotion. And know that true love never leaves. True love liberates. True love desires you to be your highest self, to love that is real, to have patience in love, and to be present in love. And to know that all answers lie within. There is always a pathway forward. and that we are simply asked who we want to be every step of the way in this experience that is life, and to choose wisely from an empowered point of free will who you desire to be. And if I've forgotten anything, please bless that now for the highest and best possible good, and even more, even greater, even better. May we all be blessed. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.